All right, so welcome everyone. We're kicking off a brand new deep dive here, and this one I'm pretty excited about. We're calling it the 21st Century Man Podcast. And we're going to be taking a look at a new book called, well, you guessed it, The 21st Century Man.
Yeah, should be interesting.
So get ready to meet Dr. Judson Brandeis. That's the author. And we're going to dive deep into what makes his book so insightful, especially for any guy out there, trying to figure out what it means to be a man in today's world.
Definitely a lot to unpack there.
For sure. So let's just jump right in. One of the things that really struck me about Dr. Brandeis is he's not just some, armchair philosopher here.
Right.
The guy's got serious medical chops. I mean, almost 25 years as a board-certified urologist.
Yeah, and not just any urologist. He's been consistently ranked as one of the top urologists in the entire San Francisco Bay Area, like for 8 years running.
Yeah, 8 years in a row. That's not just luck, right? That's a track record that speaks volumes.
Totally. And when you look at his background, it's like, okay, this guy's the real deal. Brown University for undergrad, then Vanderbilt for med school, UCLA for his residency in urologic surgery, and then, get this, a postdoctoral fellowship at Harvard.
Wow. Talk about an overachiever.
Right, but it's that kind of dedication, that commitment to excellence that really shines through in his work, and it definitely sets the stage for what he's trying to do with the 21st century man.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. And what's so cool is that on top of all that traditional medical training, he's also really leaned into this rapidly growing field of sexual health and medicine.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right? It's like urology is already in that realm, but he's taken it a step further.
Absolutely. So he's got this practice called BrandeisMD, and he specifically focuses on issues that, let's be honest, a lot of guys just don't feel comfortable talking about. Things like erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, even prostate cancer.
You know, those are such sensitive topics, and it's incredible that he's created a space where men can actually feel safe addressing those concerns. And you can see how that kind of focus directly translates into his book, The 21st Century Man. It's like the culmination of all those years of experience, research, and a real desire to help men over 40 specifically maintain their vitality, age gracefully, but with energy and vigor.
I love that. Not just accepting that you're getting older, but owning it. Right.
Exactly. Owning it and making the most of it.
And what's really cool? Dr. Brandeis is super open about his own experiences with aging, too. The hair thinning, the muscle loss, the changes in,
Yeah, exactly. It makes him relatable. And it gets even more interesting. When he hit 50, his whole career kind of shifted gears. He came across this thing called shock wave therapy, which, get this, is used to treat erectile dysfunction.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cutting edge. And it wasn't just like a passing interest for him.
Yeah.
This discovery led him down this whole rabbit hole of sexual medicine and male rejuvenation.
Male rejuvenation. What's that all about?
Think of it as helping men, feel their best, look their best, and have better physical intimacy.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going.
Right. And throughout all this, Dr. Brandeis noticed something kind of troubling. He realized that a lot of men, especially those who'd been busy taking care of everyone else for years, family, work, you name it, they'd kind of let their own health slide.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's like they pour all their energy outwards and forget to fill their own cup.
Exactly. And then they hit midlife, and all that energy they used to have, it starts to fade. And they're left trying to figure out, wait, what happened? How do I get back on track?
So it sounds like these guys, even though they're super successful in other areas of their lives, they hit a wall when it comes to their own well-being.
Exactly. They're the givers, But when it comes to themselves, they just draw a blank. And that's where the 21st century man comes in.
So how does the book tackle this issue? What's the main message?
Well, Dr. Brandeis breaks it down into 3 key pillars of men's health: feeling good, looking good, and having great sex. He basically took a step back and said, okay, what can men in midlife do to slow down or even reverse the aging process? And he wasn't messing around. He went out and consulted with top experts in all sorts of fields.
So it's not just like some quick fix self-help book. This is serious stuff.
Oh, yeah, incredibly thorough. And you know what else is really cool? Dr. Brandeis, he doesn't just recommend things he's read about. He actually tries out a lot of the treatments and technologies himself before he suggests them to his patients.
Wow, that's dedication.
Seriously. We're talking about stuff like shockwave therapy, which we already mentioned, but also PRP, which uses your own blood to help with hair growth, and Emsculpt, this high-tech thing that builds muscle.
He's like a walking experiment.
Yeah.
That definitely adds a lot of credibility to his recommendations. But the 21st Century Man, it's a pretty hefty book, right? How does Dr. Brandeis suggest people approach it?
He uses this brilliant analogy of a world-class buffet, specifically the one at Caesar's Palace. I don't know if you've ever been, but
Oh yeah, I've heard stories.
it's insane, right? So much food, you wouldn't know where to start. But that's exactly the point. Dr. Brandeis is saying you don't have to tackle everything at once. Pick and choose what resonates with you, what's relevant to your life right now.
I love that. It's about empowering people to create their own personalized experience.
Exactly. And to make it even easier to navigate this buffet of information, the book is broken down into 14 parts, each focusing on a specific aspect of men's health.
Okay, so let's give our listeners a taste of what each part covers, like a little preview before they dive into the full meal.
Sounds good. So, part one is called The Journey. It kicks off with the introduction and then chapter one, The Hero's Journey, which Dr. Brandeis sees as the plate and utensils you need for this whole exploration.
The hero's journey. Now, that sounds familiar. I think I vaguely remember something from college literature class.
Oh, yeah, it's a classic storytelling structure, but in this context, it's about the challenges, the transformations, and ultimately the goals that a lot of men face in their lives. It's about reaching your full potential, finding that fulfillment.
Got it. And of course, every hero faces some obstacles along the way.
Right, and in this case, the obstacle are those health risks that can trip us up. Dr. Brandeis dives into those in chapter two, smart ways to reduce your health risks. So part one really sets the stage. It's like, here's the path, and here are some of the bumps you might encounter.
Okay, makes sense. So what's next?
Part two is all about preventive maintenance. This is where the rubber meets the road, you know.
Yeah.
It's about the big things that can lead to premature death for men.
Heart disease, cancer, that sort of thing.
Exactly. But Dr. Brandeis doesn't just give you the same old advice you've heard a million times. He offers fresh perspectives and talks about some of the newer approaches to prevention and treatment.
So it's not just about avoiding bad habits, but also embracing new ways to stay healthy.
Exactly. And he encourages you to really tailor this part to your own situation, taking into account your environment, your family history, all that stuff.
Okay, that's really smart. So what's part three about?
Part three is called Advice from Specialists. And as you might guess, it's packed with insights from leading experts in different areas of medicine.
So if you're dealing with a specific health concern, you can go straight to the chapter from the specialist in that field.
Precisely. And Dr. Brandeis suggests you focus on what's relevant to you right now, but also keep in mind that as you go through different stages of life, other chapters might become more important. It's a resource you can come back to again and again.
Love it. So what's next on the menu?
Part four, food.
Hmm.
This one's all about nutrition, but it goes deep. It's not just about calories and macros. Dr. Brandeis talks about both macro and micronutrients, explaining how they work and why they're essential.
Makes sense. We all know we eat healthy, but sometimes it's hard to know where to start.
Totally. And this part dives into all that. It emphasizes just how critical diet is for our overall well-being. And honestly, it's kind of a wake-up call. Did you know that poor diet has now overtaken smoking as the leading cause of preventable health problems?
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But don't worry, this part also offers tons of practical and, dare I say, enjoyable strategies for making healthier food choices.
Okay, good. Because I'm all for healthy living,
Yeah.
but I also like to enjoy my food.
I hear you. And after we fuel our bodies, it's time to move them. Part five is all about exercise. And listen, we all know how important exercise is, especially as we age.
But it can be tough, right? Our bodies don't bounce back the way they used to.
So true, and Dr. Brandeis acknowledges that. He talks about the increased risk of injuries as we get older, but he also brings in some amazing experts like Will Workman, the team orthopedist for the Oakland A's. He shares his insights on low-impact exercises that are great for aging joints.
That's awesome. I'm sure a lot of listeners would love to avoid knee replacements if they can.
For sure. And this part also talks about the importance of nutrition for reducing inflammation, which can really help with those aches and pains. You'll also find information on stretching, yoga, even high-tech stuff like M-Sculpt.
And let's be real, sometimes we need a little extra motivation to get moving.
Absolutely. And that's why this part also touches on the benefits of working with a trainer. Sometimes having that accountability and guidance can make all the difference.
I totally agree. So what's up next?
Part six might be a bit tougher to swallow, but it's super important. Addictions. And look, it's not about judging or shaming anyone. It's about understanding.
Addiction is a complex issue, and it affects people from all walks of life.
Exactly. And Dr. Brandeis approaches it with compassion. He dives into the underlying reasons why people develop these habits, whether it's tobacco, alcohol, or other substances. The goal is to help you make informed decisions and maybe even break free from those patterns.
And there's always new research coming out in this area.
There is. And this part highlights some of the promising new treatments and approaches that are showing real potential.
That's great to hear. So what's next?
Okay, now for something a little lighter. Part 7, looking good. This one dives into the science behind those everyday products we use.
Shaving cream, shampoo, all that stuff.
Yep. And it also explores aesthetic medicine for men. We're talking hair removal, neurotoxins like Botox, fat reduction, even cosmetic surgery.
Interesting. So it's not just about feeling good on the inside, but also looking good on the outside.
Exactly. And let's not forget about those pearly whites. This part also covers the importance of good dental health.
Yeah, that's something I can get behind. So what's part 8 about?
Part 8 is all about making life fun. And this might sound frivolous, but it's actually super important for our well-being.
Oh, I totally agree. When we enjoy our lives, we feel better, we're less stressed, we're more creative.
Exactly. And this part dives into all the ways we can add more fun and meaning to our lives. Music, sports, letting our imaginations run wild, even surrounding ourselves with beautiful design. It all plays a role.
So it's about finding those things that light us up and bring us joy.
Exactly. And that brings us to part 9, mental health. Now, this is a huge one. Dr. Brandeis really emphasizes the importance of self-reflection and finding that work-life balance.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of our mental well-being.
So true. And this part talks about those all too common struggles with anxiety and depression, which, unfortunately, can really take a toll on a man's lifespan and quality of life. But it also offers practical advice on how to cope and how to cultivate a more positive mindset.
It sounds like a valuable resource for anyone who's feeling overwhelmed or stressed.
For sure. And then we move on to part 10, which is all about relationship skills. Now, we all know how important relationships are for our happiness and well-being.
They can make or break us for sure.
Right. And Dr. Brandeis covers a lot of ground here, from finding the right partner to improving communication, navigating the ups and downs of menopause and heterosexual relationships, even getting insights from a family law attorney.
Wow, that's a unique perspective.
It is. It's like getting a peek behind the curtain of what makes relationships tick. And then, of course, we get to part 11, sexual healing. Now, this is where things get a little intimate.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, this part really focuses on the importance of physical intimacy in our relationships, and it acknowledges the elephant in the room. As men age, maintaining sexual function can become a challenge.
It's not exactly a topic that most guys are comfortable talking about.
True, but it's so important, and Dr. Brandeis breaks down all the options, from supplements and medications to more advanced technologies, both low-tech and high-tech.
So there's something for everyone, no matter their comfort level.
Exactly. And I have to mention, this part includes a fantastic chapter by an intimate wellness expert, Susan Bratton, all about how to please a woman.
Now, that's a chapter I bet a lot of guys will be dog-earing.
Haha, probably. And then we go even deeper into sexual medicine in part 12. There's a fantastic chapter on optimizing testosterone by Dr. Gary Donovitz, and then Dr. Brandeis shares his expertise on prostate health.
2 topics that are super relevant to men as they age.
Absolutely. And this part also covers a range of other important stuff like sexually transmitted infections, Peyronie's disease, circumcision, vasectomies, vasectomy reversal, even male fertility. Dr. Philip Worthman, a leading expert in male reproductive health, also contributes to this section.
So it's really a one-stop shop for men's sexual health.
Basically. And then we move on to part 13, navigating healthcare, which is super practical. Let's face it, the healthcare system can be a nightmare to figure out.
Oh, tell me about it. Insurance, finding a good doctor, it's all so overwhelming.
Right. And Dr. Brandeis knew that, so he included a clear, concise explanation of health insurance in this part. He also gives you tips on how to find a great doctor and how to make the most of those often too short appointments.
That's so helpful. I wish I had this book when I was younger.
Me too. And finally, we arrive at part 14, leaving a legacy. This one gets a little philosophical. It includes some really inspiring thoughts from Dr. Bernard Churchill on the benefits of gratitude and from Brian Bandmiller on the power of inspiration.
So it's about thinking beyond ourselves and making a positive impact on the world.
Exactly. And Larry Biannotti shares his perspective on the importance of giving back. Dr. Brandeis wraps up this final part with his own personal reflections and his hope that the 21st century man will inspire you to live your best life and create a legacy you're proud of.
What a powerful message.
It is. And, after going through all 14 parts of this book, I have to say, Dr. Brandeis has created something truly special here. It's packed with so much valuable information that can help men feel better, look better, and have more fulfilling lives.
It sounds like it's not just a book, but a guidebook for living a better life as a man in the 21st century.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today,
Right.
and I'm sure our listeners are eager to dive into the 21st century man themselves. I know I am.
Me too. It's a real game changer.
So to wrap things up, I want to thank everyone for joining us on this introductory deep dive into the 21st Century Man podcast. And we've only just scratched the surface.
Be sure to join us next time as we delve into Chapter 1, The Hero's Journey, from Dr. Brandeis's book. We'll explore what that concept means for men today and discuss those first steps on this incredibly important path of self-discovery.
And as you go about your day, think about which of these 14 parts we talked about piqued your interest the most. What area of your well-being are you most curious about? Dr. Brandeis's book offers a detailed roadmap, and we're excited to journey through it with you, one deep dive at a time.